Have you ever received feedback that stung? So it hurt you, it stressed you out, and you doubted yourself because of it. But what if feedback is your fastest path to growth? Stay tuned. Welcome to Realizations with Clarissa, where productivity meets well being. I'm Clarissa Dunan, and as a mother, wife, entrepreneur, and leader, I know how overwhelming it can be to build success while also staying healthy, fulfilled, and present for your loved ones. That's why I created this podcast to share my realizations and one core truth that well being is the foundation of success, happiness, strong relationships, and impact. Here we'll talk about mindset, habits, and simple shifts that bring more energy, calmness, and joy into your life and work. Enjoy the show. Why do we struggle with feedback? Why do we react emotionally? Why do we feel defensive? Why do we feel threatened that we're under attack? It's because of the underlying false beliefs. And I've been talking a lot about the impact of these saboteurs, the patterns of thinking and reacting that are not really helping us in our performance, in our relationships, and in our well being. And what are these beliefs? And I believe that all of us have heard this because all of us, we have our judge. It's the judge of self that keeps telling us, oh, you made a mistake. Oh, you're such a bad person. Oh, someone said this to you. It means that you're not good enough. There's something wrong with you. You're not acceptable. You're not lovable. Does that sound familiar? It's the judge that keeps beating us up. Right? And also, there's the judge of other people. Like, oh, what's wrong with them? Don't they know what I've done for them? Right? These tendencies to feel threatened when people seem like they don't agree or they don't approve of us. And that's a manifestation of our tendency as social beings to please other people. And when we don't please them, when we don't gain their approval or acceptance, it's a threat to our identity. And this judge as well, there could be the judge of circumstance, like we don't accept something that's not within our expectations, something that's not what we want is considered bad. So if I got a negative feedback and I don't want receiving negative feedback, that's bad. And because that's bad, I won't allow that to happen. It makes me upset. It makes me angry. So no, I will run away from it as much as possible. I will avoid any opportunities of receiving feedback. And if ever I get feedback, I will just wait until it goes away because I don't want to really do anything about it because it stresses me out. So those pleaser or avoider tendencies, they're all triggered by the judge. And I've experienced that. And maybe you reflect which of these voices or patterns can you resonate with? Because it's part of being human. There's no shame in that. But what's important is that you become aware of these lies, of these voices that drive your reaction. Okay? And usually the lies would sound something like this. If people criticize me, if people give me negative feedback, it means that I'm weak. It means that I'm not good enough. It means that I'm a failure, not acceptable, not worthy, not good enough. Okay? But when we know that it's coming from the judge, we can just look at it. Okay, that's coming from the judge. And if it comes from their mouth, it's coming from their judge as well, their judge of others, and we're the recipient of that. But when we are aware that it's just their judge, our judge, that are reacting to each other, we can begin to take charge rather than let these self sabotaging patterns rule our life. They make us feel stressed, okay? They make us react in a way that is not really helpful to ourselves and to other people. It affects our performance at work or in our family life. So maybe you can relate to that. So, where in your life or maybe at work can you see the impact of these patterns? Where have you received feedback, maybe in the past or recently? And how did you respond? And behind that reaction, what voices or what lies did the judge tell you? Can you recall? Most likely you can recall that because it's the same lie, it's the same voice that they've been saying over and over and over again. And I'd like to challenge you that starting today, you'll be aware of that voice that tells you the things that I've mentioned earlier. And you catch it and you say, oh, that's the judge of self. It's beating me up. Oh, it's the judge of other people. I'm judging them. I'm assuming the worst in them. That's why I feel so bad. Oh, it's a judge of circumstances. I'm not able to accept what just happened. I'm not able to accept the outcome or the mistake that just happened. So just catch that because when you're able to catch that, you won't be taking things personally anymore. You don't have to defend yourself anymore because there's nothing to defend, right? When you know that it's just that inner voice, that inner critic that's talking in your head, okay, you will know that you are not really under threat. Who you really are, the essence that you are, has not been diminished by that negative feedback. Because when you're not able to catch this, when you let feedback hurt you over and over again, you become what? You become a fragile defender. It becomes your habit to be fragile and sensitive. You always get hurt. And that's very stressful, not just for you, but for the people around you, that they feel like they're walking on eggshells. And that's not really healthy because they cannot express themselves. They cannot be true to who they are. And they cannot be true to you as well. There's no authenticity because you're not allowing them to, to express themselves, right? And you are not allowing yourself to grow. So it hurts your growth, your personal development. It hurts your performance. And because there's always that fear, that's not good for your overall health and well-being. Okay? So overall, it will push you to stay the same, to be stuck because you are resisting change. And a lot of times we have our blind spot, things that we cannot really see. And it's other people who can see that better. And when we learn to listen, when we learn to welcome feedback, then it's like free personal development, free education, a shortcut that we don't have to keep making the same mistakes over and over again when we allow someone to help us that way. And we don't need to agree to everything. We don't need to say, okay, I'm really that way all the time. No, because when we listen and then we pause and reflect, which one here is helpful? Which one is useful? Which one here will allow me to grow? Which one here is teaching me a lesson? Which one is showing me something I haven't seen before? So when we ask ourselves those questions, we are selective. It's not that we just allow everyone to dictate how we see ourselves. No. Because when we quiet our mind rather than reacting like an active volcano. When we quiet our mind, it's easier for us to see the big picture, to see what's true, because we don't need to defend ourselves anymore. When we're open to feedback, we're open to listening. Okay? And let me tell you a story because this topic is really close to my heart. Because decades ago, I had big issues with feedback. Okay, let me tell you a story about my mother. So I said, Ma, who's your most difficult child? And I thought in my head she would say, it's my youngest sister. And Lala, if you're listening, I think I've already told you this story. Guess what my mother said? Here's what she said. It's you, Clarissa. You are my most difficult child. And I said, why? What makes me your most difficult child? And she said, because you are so sensitive. You are so fragile. You get hurt so quickly. And then you react very emotionally. And hurtful things come out of your mouth. So you've hurt me so many times because of the feedback that I've given you. So you can just imagine how sensitive I was back then. But I've learned. I've learned and I've seen the difference of not being emotionally reactive and allowing feedback to help me grow. It's like my shortcut. It's a gift. It's an opportunity for me to learn much quicker. And so many people are still struggling with this. And there's no judgment in that, but I've seen so many relationships fall apart because of a feedback, a criticism. I've seen so many business relationships, business partnerships fall apart because of one conversation that hurt each other. They were willing to give up their income, their livelihood, their dreams, their goals in business, rather than continue working with this person who hurt them really, really deeply with a feedback. So the work of the judge runs deep. Okay, and I really want you to catch this much faster instead of you getting into that spiral of emotional reaction and being stuck when you're not growing, when you're not learning. Because the cost of reacting poorly to feedback is what? It costs you your growth, your personal development. You're stuck making the same mistakes over and over again. So you also lose important insights. You are not open to innovation because you're not willing to change. And you cannot change when you're not willing to accept what's really happening. Okay, but top performers, successful people in however you define success, they know one simple truth, and that is feedback is a gift. Feedback is a tool. So when you stay open, when you stay calm and curious in a way that you're asking which one of this feedback is useful, which one is not, which one will I accept, which one will I implement so that I can be the best version of myself. That is helpful. And successful people also thank the giver of the feedback because, like I said, it's a gift. So, what do you do when you receive a gift? You thank them. But when you are instantly on a reactive mode, on a defensive mode, when you don't see the feedback as a gift or as an opportunity for you to learn and grow, then you won't be able to thank them authentically. But when you have this perspective, and I call it the sage perspective, your inner wisdom, the perspective of your wiser self, and that perspective is everything, everything, including the most negative feedback, can be seen as a gift or an opportunity for you to learn something, for you to grow. Let me tell you another story. So, some months ago, I gave a talk, and six people said, "Oh, that's amazing. I really learned a lot. That's awesome. That's wonderful." So, six very positive feedback. And one person said, "Oh, it was so bad. It's BS." So the whole word. Okay. And at first it stung me because that's our initial reaction, our survivor brain. That's the reaction, right? That we feel threatened. But then I said, okay, what is this teaching me? Where is the gift in this? Where is the opportunity in this? And as soon as I shifted to that perspective, oh my goodness, that was one of the best moments in my life when I felt such an immense joy and relief, like, wow, oh wow, this is a wonderful gift. Because of this experience, I now know that whatever people think about me, whatever people say about me, even if it's the worst feedback, it does nothing to who I really am. It does nothing to my essence. It took nothing away from me. And that gave me so much freedom. So much freedom because that used to be one of my biggest fears. Like receiving negative feedback would devastate me. No. In fact, I said, oh, wow, I feel so good. Okay, bring it on. And when you don't have that fear, can you imagine what you could do, the impact that you could make? So when you have that mindset, when you have that perspective that you can always get a gift or an opportunity from anything, even the worst feedback, you become a resilient learner. You become unshakable, right? So you can listen without reacting. You ask clarifying questions coming from calmness, coming from centeredness without being pulled all over the place into different directions because you're reacting emotionally. But you are grounded. And when you come from that sense of calmness, it rubs onto that person as well because we have the mirror neurons. People copy our state. People copy our way of being. So they feel calmer as well. But when you react, when you become defensive, they respond that way. So the conversation becomes unproductive, more stressful. And when you respond like that in a calm manner, and you acknowledge them and you even thank them, right? So what does that do? It allows people to trust you more. It allows people to be authentic around you. That they don't need to hide how they really feel or what they want to tell you. And that makes the relationship more productive. They're more willing to cooperate with you, to support you in your causes, to collaborate with you because of that trust. It goes beyond performance. So it's not just how you perform at work that will be positively impacted by your ability to receive feedback, but also you improve faster in different areas of your life, whether it's in your relationship with your special someone or your children. Okay, so it builds stronger relationships at home and at work, and you become more confident because you don't need to doubt yourself every time people give you feedback. Your anxiety levels go down, your stress starts to disappear. Why? Because you're no longer scared of feedback. It no longer threatens, even if you receive feedback, it no longer threatens your sense of self. And people feel good being around you. You have that sense of being grounded no matter what happens, no matter what people say around you. And that inspires them because how many people do you know can respond in a calm and reflective way when they receive feedback? People would want to learn from you, people would want to be around you because you have something that they want to achieve as well, that sense of being unshakable no matter what's going on around them, around you. So my challenge for you is, next time that you receive feedback, you pause and you ask yourself, what's the gift? What's the opportunity behind this feedback? And I'm excited for what you notice that comes up after you ask that question. And if you're ready to grow, comment below. I'm ready for growth. And if you are struggling with feedback or criticism, you book your Saboteur Discovery Session so that I can help you gain clarity on what's really holding you back. What is the root cause behind that pattern of reacting, of being defensive, of feeling threatened, of having that fear towards feedback? And then we will find out in that session. It's free, it's confidential. We will find out how those patterns are affecting your performance at work or in your business, how it's affecting your relationships, and how it's affecting your well being, your physical and mental health. So, book that on my website, clardooncoaching.com, your free Saboteur Discovery Session. And I will help you and support you in releasing those limiting patterns, those patterns of thinking and reacting and behaving, and replace them with habits that serve you so that criticisms will no longer hurt you, but instead help you to grow and thrive. And criticisms will open the door for you to feel empathy for yourself and others instead of the judge beating you up, and also for you to explore what's really behind that feedback, what's useful, what's not, and what can you do about it. So you're more open to having new ideas, and the action plan becomes clear for you to implement what's useful. I'm so excited for you. I'll talk to you soon. Book your Saboteur Discovery Session today. If you enjoy the episode, share it with someone who might need it. And subscribe or leave a review. It will really help spread the message. And if you're ready to have more time and energy for what truly matters to you, grab a free copy of the Teach Business Workbook. The link is below. It will guide you through 3 simple steps so you can create more space in your life and work. Until next time, remember, your well-being comes first.